I hear you, Joseph. I really get your point. And like I was, the point I was making here was not to say you're wrong. You know, the beauty of what we're doing here is to have different opinion. At the end of the day, we are having a wonderful discourse in terms of the tournament, which is healthy, especially for our audience to see where we're all coming from. Femi, also, in terms of assists, we saw Collins Frey of Cameroon with 2 assists. We saw Mane with 2, also from Senegal, and we saw Salah from Egypt with 1. This also points to where I'm coming from in terms of my own opinion. Like I'm not saying Joseph is wrong, and I'm saying for Mane to have played 6 matches with 1 assist, Salah 6 matches, 5, Mane 5, Salah 5, Collins is 6 matches, and 1 assist, 2 assists. Based on what we are used to in EPL, for Christ's sake, get where I'm coming from. These are godlike players. These are players that are probably one of the best players in terms of, we are talking of world football now. These guys can compete in any team in the world. We are used to, when we go to the World Cup, these big players, they shine. When we go to Europe, all these big players, they come, you see them in terms of assists and stuff. That is where I'm actually coming from. So what do you think they've actually lived to the billing in terms of your own opinion, Femi?
I mean, there are common grounds between the two of you, in all fairness. A lot to say that brings your thoughts together. But also, you've got to be really very honest and say, yes, the end goal is where you take your team. If you see what I mean. Some people will give everything for the team. Other players, they want to embrace the spotlight. I'll go back to Salah at Liverpool. There was a time we saw Salah would hardly ever pass the ball to Mane. Everyone was noticing it. If Salah was true, he was always going to find the back of the net, regardless of who was better placed, especially if it was Mane. But in the end, you see, they found a way to play together, especially the manager, encouraging the two of them. It's because individual honors. I mean, if you're an ambitious person anyway, you're driven by the honors you get. But also in football, team honors actually count for more. And I think the two of them have done a very, very sterling job. If you look at the assists, you were talking about those guys. You look at this guy from Gambia, Musa Barrow. Barrow's got 2 assists as well from the tournament, and he's played fewer games than Mane or Salah. But where is his team at the minute? They're even home already. They're not even on the plane. They're already home. So sometimes some people do the harder work. It's like you look at the Arsenal team. In spite of the fact that Aubameyang gets the goals, every time Lacazette plays, his older plays so much more amazing. It gets the younger guys scoring all the goals. You see, Martinelli can run past him. Saka can run past him. It just helps the other team members play better than they would naturally play. And that's the key thing I thought Kali was trying to point out. But if you look at it from a bigger point of view that you were talking about, I mean, you talked about Abubakar on 6 goals. He's actually on 8 now because he's got 2 extra goals yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
8 goals. That's the most in a tournament since Laurent Poco in 1970 or so.
1976.
1976, thank you. So he's been absolutely brilliant for Cameroon, Abubakar. And what he's done is almost unprecedented, except for Laurent Poco, who is already, we all know, the greatest legend in terms of goal scoring for the Nations Cup. So some people come to the fore. They enjoy an incredible tournament. And it's helped this team. But again, the team is falling short, and then they lost out in the semifinals. But these 2 guys we're looking at, Mane and Salah, they've actually knitted their teams together. They've sacrificed personal glory, I believe, for team glory. And in the end, there is a real chance that Mane will be leading his team to their first African title ever. I mean, they were there in 2002, lost in the final. 2019, they lost in the final, but there is an opportunity for him to actually help his country win their first ever tournament. And they've had some amazing players in the past. So what you want to look at is, yes, in terms of goal scoring, they probably haven't lit it up like the Nations Cup, like we see in the Premier League. I mean, we play fantasy football. Who do you make as your captain? Salah, because you know he's going to score goals. And because he plays in the same team with Mane, you're thinking, I'm not going to expend so much money on the 2 of them. But most people even go brave and you put Salah and Mane because you know you're going to get returns for your money. But when it comes to where you're really the only star of the team, sometimes you let the ego down and you help your teammates. So you do the running, you go down the channels, they put the ball in where you don't want to be, but you run. And Kali talked about going back as well, running back, helping in the defense. All those things count. So just to wrap it up, you're absolutely right, Faith, when you talk about the fact that, yes, in terms of the numbers, Salah has only scored 2 goals, Mane has only scored 3, and Salah has only got 1 assist, Mane has got 2. But what's incredibly important as well is the fact that they've sacrificed personal glory to actually help their teams to the final. And look, the other day, what's his name, scored a hat-trick in the Premier League, and he said, I would rather give away the hat-trick and he scored a brace, actually, at Aston Villa, Bruno Fernandes. And he said, I would rather give away my brace for the team to win than score those 2 goals and end up with the scoreline at 2-2. Can you see the thinking then? So sometimes, if you score goals, you do help your team win. But other times, the goals are not enough because everyone else is let themselves down. So I think there's a lot of common ground there. But also, yes, they've let us down, in all fairness, with not scoring 10, 15 goals. Because that's what we wanted to see, isn't it? And look, Mahrez is already back in Man City. And Algeria won the last one, and it's not helped them win this time around. And what we want to see is those big stars lighting up the stage, making us all on the edge of our seat. And when they get the ball, you know it's going to happen. And it doesn't really happen for them.
Goals, goals. Okay, Femi, hold that thoughts. Kali, I need you to hold that thought also.